welcome to 15 News Weekly, news and activities happening in and around Southfield. Here's your update. A major staple of the fall season recently made its return to the city as the Chamber of Commerce presented the 14th annual Taste of Southfield inside the town center atrium. The event featured many restaurants that are new to the culinary landscape of the city.
For the second year in a row, we're doing our Edible Creations competition. It was a big hit last year, so this year we've decided to make it kind of a center of attention. We've got 4 restaurants who are competing to see who can make the best salad with the special ingredient of a sweet potato. So we'll see who will be 2017 Edible Creations competition winner.
For the second year, the event featured the Edible Creations competition, which is modeled after the popular Food Network show Chopped. The competition challenged contestants to create a dish using an assigned ingredient which would be graded by a panel of local celebrity judges.
You can always learn about the events that we have going on in our community at our website, southfieldchamber.com, or our Facebook page. We post regularly about events such as this. So our 15th annual, of course, will be next year, so it'll be an important event and very exciting. So just keep an eye on our website or like us on Facebook at Southfield Chamber.
There were a plethora of activities at the Taste of Southfield, including photo booth, dancing, free massages by an area masseuse, in addition to the food sampling. For participants, the value of being involved with the Taste Fest is invaluable, which explains why they come back every year.
We are participating probably for the 5th year here to help along with the Chamber of Commerce, and it's just a great venue. The first year I was a little hesitant. I had to force myself to make the time for it, and once I saw what was taking place over here, we were committed to it. It's just a great venue, great atmosphere, and just a good way to get customers.
We're out here because we want to let our community know that we are here and we're in the area. You could stop in. There is a way to reach us. So it's just, a way for us to get out there.
We're here for a couple reasons. We're here to let everybody know that we're much more than a pizza place. We've got everything from salads, we've got subs, we've got burgers, we've got desserts. We're really a complete, almost restaurant, but carry out. We've got an extensive catering menu. We deliver catering free of charge. We set up discount programs for hospitals and businesses where employees can use a discount card to get a discount along with free delivery at most locations. I think the main reason that it's important is our food speaks for itself. I think everybody's heard of Happy's. Maybe not everybody has been to Happy's, but the ones that have, it becomes word of mouth. And the people that are here that are trying our food, such as our rib tips today that we did, which usually it's always pizza, but today we did rib tips, we did our wedges. We also did, which we're famous for, our wings. Nobody could touch us on our wings. And people that are having them are just passing the word around and telling everybody else. So the exposure here is great, especially for our 2 locations in Southfield, on Telegraph and Lathrop Village.
It gets the community together, and it lets everybody see what we have to offer out here in Southfield with all the different restaurants and different venues. And plus it's a nice chance to, like I said, network and meet with people.
For local food lovers, the Taste of Southfield continues to impress as it grows in relevance and scope every year.
I think it's fabulous. It's just a way of letting everybody in Southfield and the public as well know about the different vendors and events, and from food to business to everything. It's just a great culture for Southfield.
To learn more about the Taste of Southfield or any other event presented by the Southfield Area Chamber of Commerce, visit southfieldchamber.com. Members of the deaf community use a different language, literally. Not only does their language, American Sign Language or ASL, connect them to others who are deaf, but it also serves as a membership card into a linguistic subculture of our society that not everyone is privileged to enjoy. Southfield recently hosted Deaf Celebration Day, a special event celebrated every 2 years that is designed to create awareness and empower deaf individuals, enabling them to thrive in a hearing world.
We set this event up, a long time ago, many years ago, because our goal was to change people's perceptions and the face of the deaf community. Because oftentimes people look down on the deaf community, say, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. So we disagree. We want to show resources. We want to have a different perspective. We set up a positive view of the deaf community. And so we want a positive environment, we want people to come, be together, socialize, a safe place for all people to come.
Throughout the day, the event provided a mixture of resources and fun-filled activities supplied by area community agencies.
We have a variety of booths, include different agencies, different organizations, including deaf businesses. So we give people the opportunity to look around. And we also have some schools as well, see what the resources and the services are available in our community. Also, we're partnering with the Deaf Arts Festival. So they have crafts for the kids where they can come and play and socialize with other deaf kids. Also, we're going to have food trucks here. So come and eat.
Deaf Celebration Day was conceptualized decades ago with a view to fostering positive images of deaf individuals.
Really, it started many, many years ago in the 1980s. So really we wanted again to set up a positive image of the deaf community and bring the community up. We did it every 2 years. Understand we didn't do this for the last 4 years because we were struggling to find a good venue. But we are so lucky to have found an excellent relationship with Southfield, and we set it up here. So we are very hopeful that we will continue proceeding here.
DEAF C.A.N staffers and volunteers see Deaf Celebration Day as an opportunity to break down barriers and create unity by helping the community embrace the unique differences of others.
I started working at DEAF C.A.N, I would say part-time, maybe almost 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago. And then I became immersed in working with the organization. And also for a long time I've been involved with Deaf Celebration Day every 2 years. But we didn't have anything for 4 years, so I thought it would be nice if we hosted this again, and people are so excited. We've been planning this for almost a year now, and we're really excited to see so many people come together, so many booths, and all the deaf, blind, and hard of hearing people coming in. Also, all of the hearing people who are involved with our community to come here and to partner, to be together, to socialize as one group. So no divisiveness today, we're all together.
While Deaf Celebration Day helped to reinforce the synergy for the Metro Detroit deaf and hard of hearing communities, it also provided the platform to discuss pushing a bill at the state level to make ASL, or American Sign Language, included in language and English assessments for deaf children.
We want to have a bill passed to provide ASL and language and English assessments for deaf children. This bill is very critical. It's for parents to be aware of the educational resources that they include American Sign Language. Children who are born from birth to 8, this will provide ASL and English assessments so we can see the children, to make sure that they're prepared for kindergarten when they go to school. We want them to be academically ready. When Empower, this is what our bill is called, Empower. When the House gives us a bill number, you can help us by calling your local legislator and ask them to support this bill.
To learn more about DEAF C.A.N, visit deafcan.org. Despite making up more than half the workforce in the U.S., women continue to dramatically lag behind their male counterparts in leadership roles. The lack of women leaders is grabbing the global spotlight, and the latest installment of the Lawrence Tech University Leaders and Innovators series, moderated by WWJ News Radio 950's Murray Feldman, addressed this issue and more with an all-star panel that discussed constructive solutions-based ideologies.
It's all about women in leadership, and the fact is, as Ann Doyle, a former journalist and sports reporter and elected official and global speaker on the topic currently, pointed out that the United States isn't just stagnant when it comes to the gender gap in leadership. We're falling behind tremendously worldwide in a survey of 144 countries. So that's one of the things we addressed today. And on an individual level, how do you combat that? What do you do to make it better?
The forum featured author Ann Doyle and entrepreneur Denise Illich, who spoke on the success they've had navigating leadership roles in a male-dominated workforce.
Well, my role in today's event was really to bring the perspective, I think, of almost 5 decades in the workforce as a professional woman, and to give people an understanding of where we are right now. And the reality is that women have been stalled for several decades. And even worse than that, the United States is actually dropping in the world compared to other developed countries regarding equality between men and women. And we have actually dropped from the top 20 in terms of equity between men and women, into, we are now 43rd position in the world. And for a country of we're #1 in the world in terms of education, equal education between males and females, but to be 43rd in the world in terms of women being in leadership roles and decision-making roles, there's something really wrong with that. So I hope my role today was a wake-up call.
Today we talked a lot about confidence. We talked about pushing yourself out of your comfort zone to experience the most growth. We talked about networking and how important networking is in order to advance your career. We talked about education, how important it is to be a sponge and to continue to educate yourself. And it was wonderful because we had 3 panelists that came from different points of view. And what's always wonderful about that is it touches somebody in the audience on some level. So I found it really interesting, and I learned myself. It was great. First of all, they need to educate themselves. They need to be as educated as possible, because as Rick DeVore said earlier on the panel, competence comes first. And then after competence, then they start to look for candidates with which that meet that competence. And I think second is confidence. It's very important. It was discussed earlier today. Don't eliminate yourself from the game. You may get eliminated by somebody else, but don't you eliminate yourself. And that's all about having confidence in yourself and what you want to do.
As a series moderator, Feldman sees these installments as having many long-term benefits for attendees based upon many of the helpful tips that the panel discussed, along with available resources that women can access to develop their leadership abilities and advance their careers.
Denise Illich, president of Illich Enterprises, was with us. And one of the things she talked about is you have to have confidence. You have to have a network, and a network doesn't mean people that are just like you. They're people that are above your level, below your level, different kinds of people who you can network with and form relationships with to move ahead. So you have to have that confidence. You also have to have humility, and you have to be able to go out there and get what you want. One of the other panelists we had was Rick DeVore. He is the president of PNC Bank here in Michigan and southeastern Michigan and Detroit, and they have a unique program where they certify their employees as business advocates for women. And what that is all about is trying to help women move to the areas where they aspire. And it's not giving them special treatment. What it is it's seeing the good aspects of their professional life and moving them in a direction where they can benefit from that. The result has been more than 60% of their employees are now women, and they have, and I think maybe close to half of their managers are women as well. So they've done very well with that. The people in the audience were very receptive. They had great questions for everybody, and I'm sure they walked away learning some new insight into what they can do to improve their lot and to move themselves ahead.
To learn more about upcoming forums and events from Lawrence Tech University, visit ltu.edu. The Michigan Works Career Center, newly relocated to Lawrence Tech University, continues to be a useful community resource that enables job seekers to find gainful employment. This past week's workshop focused on job search strategies.
Today we're having our job search workshop, which we hold weekly at the Career Center. There's a lot of folks in different programs. Some of them are profilers that have to re-register to show that they're actually doing their job search in order to continue receiving their unemployment benefits. And so we're going to talk about some of the best strategies for doing a good and efficient job search.
With any endeavor, there are do's and don'ts. Here are some do's and don'ts when job searching.
Well, the biggest don't is to search old news. And old news is jobs that are posted. Employers hate posting jobs. Sometimes they're required. We work for the city. We're required to post jobs, I do believe, from our city charter. And we also post jobs at the city. Insider, I facetiously call it insider trading, but it's just part of the union contracts that jobs get posted internally. But that happens at all jobs. Those jobs that are available, people know about inside before they ever get to the public. We call that the hidden job market. And the reality is only about 15% of jobs that are out there and are available ever get posted. 85% of jobs never get posted. They get filled from within, or they get filled by other sources. And so if you spend your time searching in that 15% pool, you're going to be extremely unfruitful. 90% of everybody that's unemployed concentrates on the posted job market, which is only representing about 15% of the jobs, making them extremely competitive. That gives HR people, HR professionals, a wonderful, rich pool to draw from, and they're going to skim the cream of the crop, leaving people like me, which I'm far from perfect, at the bottom of the ladder, and so my job search is going to be much longer. So if I spend my time only searching there, rather than searching the hidden job market, well, they're really not hidden jobs, they're just jobs that aren't posted, then I'm going to be up against immeasurable odds, in my opinion. Whereas if I spend my time doing the networking, which is required to find employment, I'm going to be, first of all, less competitive. I'm going to have fewer people competing against me, and second of all, they're usually better jobs. Good jobs never get posted because people are beating the door down trying to get to it. But the jobs that end up getting posted many times are not as high quality. So spending your time there, and that being only what you do, like I said earlier, 90% of people, that's how they do their job search. Extremely unfruitful.
Job seeking in the 21st century is very much a matter of marketing and branding oneself, and Career Center staff feels that their programs will help job seekers do just that.
Well, the key thing that I stress from the very beginning is what is it you want to convey about yourself to a potential employer? We call that branding. So we approach job search from a marketing perspective. I'm going to teach the 5 steps of a sale that I learned years ago in the Dale Carnegie sales course. And I'm going to talk about branding, things like Nike or Coke and Pepsi, and the image that they are pushing so that we as consumers will think of certain images when we're looking at their product. So when someone meets you as a potential employee, what are the things that you want to convey to them? What is the image you're leaving behind? And then we're going to talk about using marketing techniques, where we're going to have many touches, where you're reaching out to an employer, trying to separate yourself from the herd. So key, first of all, is marketing and branding. And secondly, from a perspective of one of the programs that I work in, I want to have people be able to talk about themselves comfortably. How do you sound when you're on the phone? How do you sound when people meet you? If you're uncomfortable talking about yourself, which most of us are, I happen to be gifted with extroversion, so that helps me. But what do I say in those situations where I'm meeting an employer? Am I comfortable saying it? And can I put those things we learned as a child, not to brag about myself, on a shelf, because I've got to brag about myself. I've got to say what I can do for somebody and the value that I can bring. And if I'm uncomfortable with those things, then I'm going to have a hard time interviewing. So I want to convey to people they need to be able to develop a nice elevator speech so they can meet somebody, shake their hand, and when they open their mouth, they say something of value that they're going to add to an employer, rather than just run off at the mouth because you're nervous.
If area job seekers need more specialized employment training, Michigan Works Career Center staff give one-on-one sessions to further cultivate job search skills.
People have the opportunity to take these workshops and sign up for some one-on-one assistance, which is the best thing, best innovation that we've had in the last few years. And through that, we've been able to do a little bit of side-by-side coaching with people that are doing their job search. So I think overall, our one-stop center ideal, which we have through the Oakland County Michigan Works, provides people, I think, one of their best tools for doing their job search and doing their career planning.
To learn more about various classes and programs offered by the Michigan Works Career Center, visit michiganworks.org. Southfield capital improvement and road construction projects continue at a fast pace and is punctuated by the recent opening of the Franklin Road Roundabout. City engineer Leah Schultz keeps us informed with her latest round of road improvement updates and tips on how to navigate roundabouts.
So just recently we've got the roundabout open and fully functioning right at Franklin and 11 Mile intersection. Obviously the rest of the road still under construction, still a lot of barrels out. We're still closed down at Franklin at Telegraph. The contractor expects to have everything wrapped up and open to traffic before Thanksgiving. I think the drivers in Southfield are getting accustomed to it. So our evergreen roundabouts see a lot of traffic day in and day out. So people are getting more comfortable understanding where they need to be. I try and remind people that maybe don't travel them too often. As you're approaching, slow down. Pay attention to the lane designation signs and pavement markings so that you understand what lane you're supposed to be in if you're coming up 2 lanes to the roundabout. So you know what lane to be in depending on what your destination is. And important things, don't stop inside the roundabout. When the drivers approach the roundabout, they have to yield to the traffic inside. So when you're inside, proceed in your proper lane. Don't change lanes inside the roundabout and exit for the road for your destination. We've got our 10-mile road the city has had closed down between Southfield and Greenfield, closed to through traffic for sewer, water main work, and then some of the resultant pavement repairs we needed to do. So that just recently opened up, and that's going to be a big relief for all the east-west traffic drive-in through that part of the city. Our Evergreen, what we were calling our North Evergreen project this year between 11 and 13, is substantially complete, meaning all the main work is done. There's punch list items, so you still might see contractors out there here and there, some landscaping going on. But for the most part, that project's done. It looks great. It's very nice to have a new pavement surface on that stretch of Evergreen. And our South Evergreen project this year between 9 Mile and 10 Mile is making great progress. They expect to have that road opened up in early November, so just a few more weeks.
To stay updated on various capital improvement projects, visit cityofsouthfield.com. On the next episode of 15 News Weekly, autonomous vehicles are more than a notion. We visit Lawrence Tech University and get behind the wheel for an up-close and personal look at self-driving vehicle technology. Find out how local organization My Brother's Keeper looks to empower, educate, and inform young men through its Ready, Set, Go program. And feel the thrills and chills at Southfield's annual Halloween extravaganza, Boo Bash. That brings us to the end of this 15 News Weekly edition. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.